I believe this year we are going to have stagflation.
This could be a perfect opportunity to find deals. During COVID, people refinanced their home, and a lot of people have sub-5 interest rates on their mortgage.
You know, this quiet gives you some negotiating windows.
Or this could be a great opportunity that people are just like wanting to unload these things, right? We can help you buy your first rental. $100K today may feel like $80K a few years from now. Perfect timing. It's a trap.
And you're serious about finding your next deal. Grab a clarity call with us, man.
The property
So
broker.
everyone's talking about a slowdown. But hey, we are betting that this could be the best moment to jump in, get in the real estate game, and buy your first rental. Yo, 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 what is up, Drew, man? We are back. The Property Brothers.
What is happening, Jordan? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good, man. I am blessed, brother. Hey, man, I got to ask you, dog.
Yes, sir.
What's that you growing on your face?
You know what? This is called Scent of a New Man.
Hey, you look like a new man. I don't think our audience is gonna recognize you. They're gonna be like, "Who is this? We got a new property brother."
100%, man. Yo, I am trying to, I got jealous of you, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to shape my face out. Let me see what's going on, and give my wife something to look forward to. She's been with me for what, 16 years now. So I'm like, here,
facial hair,
scent of a new man. That's what.
There
it's
you
called.
go.
That
I
is
like
what
it.
it's
Hey, I
called.
like it. I think it looks good. I like the little salt and pepper you got going on, man. It looks
Yeah,
good.
man.
It's coming up right. You shaping it right, dude. You look good,
Thank
brother.
you.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
I went and got a haircut on Friday, and they shaped me up. I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. So, just have your way with me. That's what I said. Have your way with me. So, yeah, it's new and it's interesting. Once you get through those first little stubbles, the itchiness.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to
Yes.
moisturize, dog. You got to moisturize,
do.
man. You got to keep the skin nice and moisturized, and you got to make sure that there's none of those razor burns.
No, 100%. So, I mean, for me, I always thought that the hairs would kind of turn on themselves and start going back into the skin. And I had a couple of those situations, but most of it, I went and got the beard oil. I got the beard wax. I got the beard comb.
Nice.
I got the brush.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm doing it right. If I'm in, I'm in.
Dude, all the way in, right? All the way in, man. And
100%.
Look, not to like kind of deviate from our regularly scheduled program, but look, men, hey, take care of your skin, okay? My brothers, take care of your skin because, you got
wash your face.
Yeah. But hey, listen,
wash your
man.
face, brush your teeth, all that stuff.
So look, we're back, man. I am Jordan, along with the professor, the numbers ninja, Drew, man. And look, hey, people are thinking, Drew, that this is the time to kind of like cut back, to kind of slow down, stop. The storm is coming, but this could be a really, really good opportunity for people. We're talking about stagflation, ladies and gentlemen.
Stagflation?
What's stagflation?
What is that? Oh, listen, check it out. There's a lot going on.
Like, talk to us, man.
There's a lot going on in the economy today. And
Absolutely.
It is definitely causing people to pause, take pause and say, I thought that I wanted to buy a property, but I'm going to just sit down. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Right.
Right.
And there's news from a lot of economists. B of A recently said, I believe this year we're going to have stagflation. And so for those of you that don't know, I mean, we've all heard about inflation, and we've heard that inflation is bad. Well, try pairing that with stagnation, right? And what that basically means is that the economy is stagnant, right?
Right.
And you got inflation.
But wait, there's more.
There is more. And you have high unemployment. Let me try that again. I said did I say unemployment?
I think they got you, dog.
Unemployment. All right.
Point. So
Yes.
let me peel that back a little bit. So
Right.
basically what you're saying is like stagflation is like your favorite burger joint. Okay.
Yes.
So In-N-Out,
Yes.
whatever, Burger King. And they start raising prices, but they also stop hiring cooks. And then the one guy left is like just burning your fries, extra crispy. Is that what
Because
stagflation is?
he tried to do 5 people's jobs, right? Yes,
Yeah,
that is
right.
exactly what
Yeah.
that is a great definition of stagflation, right? And that's not good. That
No.
is not good. But why is it that we say this might be the perfect time for you to invest before this stagflation really takes hold of the
Yeah.
economy?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so as real estate investors, as we are, this could be a perfect opportunity to find deals, ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
to find ways to be creative, to lock in fixed interest rates today, now, before those future interest rates start to creep up. Right.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the interesting thing. I would say it's not necessarily that the interest rates are going to creep up, but the costs are going to creep up because of inflation. So if you come in there, it's like you said, you buy that burger today. Remember when burgers used to be 99 cents?
Dude, I
You
remember
get a
that, dog.
cheeseburger for 99 cents, right?
Man, I remember
I went over to
you could go to, yeah,
I went to McDonald's the other day, and a cheeseburger that's
bruh.
2 buns this big, one single patty that seems a
Sorry,
little
Patty.
flatter. Yes,
Sorry, Patty, at
right?
that.
A piece of cheese,
Come
a
on
yellow
now.
pickle. Hey, it ain't even green. A yellow pickle.
Yellow pickle.
Right? Hey, that thing was $3.99 for a
Crazy.
cheeseburger. Right?
Bro.
I used to go, that was my go-to back in the day. 2 cheeseburgers, a fry, and some drink, right?
Yeah.
That used to be $3.99 itself.
I know. And listen, don't have a family, right? Like we do. Because you ain't getting out of McDonald's for a family like me. We are a family of 7. I got 5 kids. Now, I don't eat McDonald's myself, but I got 5 kids, and I am not leaving McDonald's for less than $50. $50 at McDonald's? That's
all right.
wild.
So $50 for your 7 kids. It's $50 today for your 7 kids.
Fool.
Anyways, so that right there, next year, that may be $55. The same
Or
exact
60.
meal. Or $60.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
that's what we're talking about. So if you
That's
get
right.
in today, you get your house locked in today. Right? The value of the dollar is locked in as well. Right? So people who you're charging rent to right now, let's say you're charging them $1,000 today, right? Next year, because the value of the dollar is going down and inflation is going up, you may be able to get $1,200 a month for rent at that point in time, right? So that's why we say right now is a great time to lock in,
Yeah. And, we've been kind of keeping our ear to the news, and, we heard that Toyota, here is a big international, automobile company, is taking a $9.5 billion hit because of DT's tariffs, man. And so that's kind of like, this is the macro economy kind of reaching into your garage, so to speak, and, really affecting them. But, they are a big company, so they could kind of absorb that. But that is a big number. So if somebody like Toyota, right, if somebody like Toyota is got to absorb that, then, what is a regular Joe? What is somebody like me, somebody like you, how is that going to affect us on the micro? So, stagnation isn't collapse, it's just like quiet, right, Drew? You got flat prices. We're not flipping as much.
It's not a lot of movement. Have you ever gone to a lake and there's bugs flying over it, and then there's algae on the bottom?
Yeah. We just went to the lake a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't getting in there. That water is stagnant. That's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That is some stagnant water. And that's why people might be afraid to invest in this economy.
Right.
Right.
But couple that with inflation, though, right? because that's where we're kind of leading to, right? We have that stagnant lake water
Right.
along with them inflated prices. Now we're into stagflation. So
Right. But
this could
there's
be
an
an
advantage
advantage,
though.
right? Yeah. Talk about it.
Percent. Yeah. So this quiet gives you some negotiating windows, right? So someone who may be selling their property, it's not moving, it's stuck, right? You now have the opportunity to come in there and make a disrespectful offer, right?
Disrespectful offer.
Very
Talk to him
disrespectful.
about that. What
Yes.
you mean? Peel that back a little bit. What's a
Listen,
disrespectful offer?
disrespectful offer is an offer that you wouldn't normally make. But
Yeah.
in that economy, and it's like one of those things like, hey, you wanted 10, I'm gonna give you five. How's that? I'll offer you
Yeah.
$5, right? And they're like, okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
always that opportunity that they may take that offer
Yeah.
because of the situation,
Right.
right? Because of maybe it's been sitting too long. Maybe
They
they
might be a
can't
little
afford it.
desperate.
Maybe, yeah, there's a desperation there. And I mean, it's not that you're trying to take advantage, but listen, the economy dictates how things play out.
There you go. Right. So this could be a great opportunity, folks, where creative financing comes in, right?
Yes, 100%.
We could see a lot of, well, I mean, we always do, but we could see opportunities where inheritance sales are coming up and probate deals and auctions and tax defaults, where this could be a great opportunity that people are just like wanting to unload these things.
Right.
And they may have homes that they've been in for many years and they have refinanced and they have a low interest rate. And this could be an opportunity for you as the buyer to find your first deal and get in and solve somebody's pain point, right?
Through that creative financing. So, I mean, to kind of peel that back, like, how does that work? What does that look like?
So with creative financing, you could come in, like, let's just use that example. Let's say somebody has, during COVID, people refinanced their homes, and a lot of people have sub 5 interest rates on their mortgage. A lot of people have sub 4 interest rates. There are many people that have sub 3% interest rates, right? And those people aren't going anywhere. Okay.
No.
But there
No.
could be situations where you can come in. Maybe there's a death in the family. Who knows? Maybe there's there's something.
Maybe maybe they're a victim of stagflation where they lost
Maybe
their
they're
job.
a victim of stagflation.
Right.
Right. Maybe somebody lost their job. Maybe they're in the real estate industry or the labor industry. And now, because of tariffs, bada bing, bada boom, they've lost their job. They can't afford the mortgage payment. So you can come in and you can get creative and say, hey, I can take over that mortgage payment. Right. And you can get that interest rate that is sub 3, sub 4, whatever. And now you are locked in and now you are controlling it with that leverage. And, you can execute what's called a sub 2 financing, and,
Right.
you've probably seen
Right.
Pace Morby out there talking about it on Instagram. But, that's one way that you can get creative. Right.
Right.
Drew and I like to find them on auctions.
Percent. Yeah. I mean, I feel that's the lazy man's way, but
Yeah.
we like to find them on auction. But, this brings me up to like, this is a perfect storm, with regards to we're bumping up against this economic situation where there's stagflation, right? And then the other piece is that construction still can't keep up, right? During COVID, we had this situation where there are a lot of folks that, they started building these huge multifamilies, right? They had this assumption that people wanted to move into multifamily because it's going to be more affordable. People don't want to live in that. They don't want to live in that. I mean, of course, there's some, right?
Yeah.
But most people want their privacy. They want their
Right.
backyard. So, a single family home, right, is going to have a certain amount of desire for
100%.
most families, right? What do you think?
Well, I think that, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, I think that people want to get back to that single family, that privacy,
Mm-hmm.
I think COVID got people a little used to that, comfortable in that respect. And then when doors opened up, right, then people got out. But at the end of the day, I think people value that, that plot of land, people like wanting it. And then, and that's also good for renters as well. Renters
Right.
are going to want that.
Exactly.
And renters are going to want to have that single family resident, that high end renter looking at a B neighborhood or, A minus neighborhood. They still seek that as well, but supply is stagnant and
It's very stagnant. Yeah.
affordable
And it's
housing
like,
is stagnant.
yeah. And it's been stagnant for a little while. And like, even if they open up the floodgates right now, they still have a lot of catching up to do, which means that
100%.
there's still a lot of people who want to get in that single family home that need to rent. Right. And so if you take advantage of this situation right now and get yourself placed in front of a single family home, you take that under ownership, you lock it in at today's rate, you lock up today's money, right?
Huh?
5 years from now, man, 5 years from now, you're going to have people knocking on your door saying, I want to rent from you. And you are paying today's market rate.
There you
and
go.
they're paying you 5 years of stagflation, rate.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful situation.
Bottom line is like the pipeline is slow, but people still need a place to live, right?
They really do.
People still
They
need
really
a
do.
roof. And if you, as the investor, if you can get in, right? And I'm talking to you right now, the people at home watching this, right? On YouTube, you watching this, on podcasts, you're listening to us. Okay. So hear me. You are in a prime position despite what is going on, in the news and what DT is doing and the macro, control your micro. And if you can, right, we can help you buy your first rental or buy another rental or scale, right? And control, the pieces, if you will. So let me ask you, Professor Numbers, my numbers ninja. Would you prefer stagnation or inflation?
That is a great question. And to be honest, I prefer neither one of them. From a investor's point of view, I would prefer going into stagnation because as an investor, you can take advantage of the situation, right? So both are going to happen. But the stagnation is basically saying, hey, listen, you've got this commodity.
Or the stagflation.
Stagflation.
Sorry,
Yes, you've got this
stagflation.
commodity that you purchased, right? And there's going to be value forced into this asset, and it's going to be a very desirable asset because of what we just talked about, right? There's not a lot of building happening, right? They're still trying to figure out how they can roll things back so that, people can there's affordability of being able to have, home ownership. Right.
Yeah.
But until that's solved, we have this asset class that people want. Right.
Mhm.
And it's getting forced value. That's huge. Right. Now, again, I don't want any one of them. I really don't. I would love for the economy to be booming like it has been. But unfortunately, there's some things that are happening right now that are going to force the hand. And you might as well don't sit on the sidelines. A lot of people are making that mistake. They are sitting on the sidelines right now.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, I'm just going to wait for that perfect situation when the interest rates. Because here's the thing that people don't understand about stagflation that I'd like to kind of clear up. The Fed usually has two options that they can have. There's two options that they have when you're entering into inflation, right? In inflation, if you're going in inflation, what they do is they raise the interest rates, right? To cool the economy down, right? Yeah. And then when the economy starts to slow, they then drop interest rates, right? So that you can start to spend more. Right?
That's right.
Well, in stagflation, those tools don't work the same way because not only do you have inflation that is happening, but concurrently you have people that have lost their jobs and you have stagnant water, that nasty stuff you don't want to stick your feet in, right? So if you drop the interest rates, guess what happens? It only accelerates the inflation, right? So you're adding more fire or more gas to the fire so that inflation can just take off, right? If you raise the interest rates, right, to try and curb the inflation during a stagflation period, now you are only slowing the economy down even more than it already has. So we're stagnant. We're trying to keep it neutral. Well, now you're going below neutral and you are causing more damage. So their hands are tied. The
Yeah.
only thing that they can do right now is wait it out and hope that something happens to spark the economy organically, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that was a great, great breakdown, bro. And to kind of uh break down the Fed, in 60 seconds, dude. But here's the thing. Here's the sneaky thing, just to kind of piggyback on that about inflation. Every year, it's quietly eating away at the value of your cash, right? And so 100K today may feel like 80K a few years from now, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That $3.99 meal is now a $3.99 burger.
Yeah, yeah. They took the
Where's my fries and Coke? Where's my
Right.
fries and Coke?
Sorry, dog. That's inflation. Blame the tariffs.
Right. Exactly.
But,
and by the way,
the
here's a service charge too.
Yeah. And give me a tip too.
Exactly. For bringing my burger out? Are you? Anyways. Fee.
Yeah. But on the flip side, though, to what we're talking about is like if you are locking in your fixed rate mortgage today or, now, right? That payment is frozen, right? It's basically frozen in time. No matter what
100%.
happens with inflation, your monthly payment will not move. And that's if you're, you're using leverage, if you're using a 30-year
and then meanwhile,
fixed rate.
Your rents are going up, your wages are going up, and you keep the difference, right? You're keeping the difference between the rents and your old mortgage. That's a beautiful thing. You get to pocket it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So like for example, right? So you have a $1,500 mortgage, okay?
Yes.
And so in 5 years, right, on your rental property, okay, let's say that the rent has elevated to $2,000 a month, okay? So that payment that you make at $1,500 is locked in, meaning you are paying $500 less than the market rents each month. And that is a beautiful thing. That is why real estate is powerful. Okay. This is why we say, people, that real estate is a get rich slow game, right? It is not about timing the market, getting that perfect, grand slam home run hitter. That's not what you're trying to do, bro. You are trying to just hit a couple singles, man. Get on base. Just hit some doubles, maybe you get a triple now and then. Maybe you get a home run, now again, but it's just about being consistent. Get a walk, man. When I played baseball, right, representing the Giants, I was good at getting on base. The walk, get a walk. Just get on base. That's what it's all about.
That's it. And that's all you got to do. As long as you're on base, hopefully somebody going to hit you home. But think of it like this. If you froze your grocery bill at 2015 prices, while everyone else is stuck paying 2025 prices, same carton of eggs, right? But your costs dude, eggs were crazy.
Do you remember that?
This summer? Dude, eggs were crazy.
How could you forget, right?
Dude, imagine if you were paying $1.99 for a carton of eggs and everybody else was paying $8, right? That's the power of locking during inflation.
That's right.
That is the power. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what we're talking about. I mean, let me rephrase that. I mean, is it beautiful? It's beautiful if you have shifted your mind and you are a real estate investor. Yes, there are some pain points for other people in the world, right? And there's some, people are going to suffer at certain aspects of this whole stagflation thing. There's going to be people that lose their jobs in certain sectors and certain markets. And so, we're compassionate to those people. That is not lost upon us. But if you are trying to find a way to build wealth, to set that legacy, to gain financial freedom, then this is what we're talking about. That, while everybody is kind of fearful, okay, that you're taking action. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at, right, Drew?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about this, man. Let's peel this back. So if we started this game plan right now, today, what is this 5-year formula of wealth that we've mentioned a couple of times? How do we take advantage of this?
Yeah. So, we've been talking about how like inflation kind of works in your favor, right? It devalues the dollar into the future, right? And so if you have a fixed mortgage now, today, and if we zoom out on that 5-year plan, this is kind of how the BRRRR strategy, okay, now we're circling it back, the property brothers, this is how this can kind of really shine, okay?
Right. So that's the buy, the rehab, the rent, refi, and repeat, right? It's not just some clever acronym, right?
Right.
This is literally how you turn one deal into 5 without starting from scratch every time, because you can roll that money that you have made on your deal into the next deal and can recycle those dollars.
Right. And think about it. If prices and rents are going to keep creeping up thanks to inflation, why wouldn't you want to own something now and let those forces work for you instead of against you? Like, it just makes sense, like use the power of, these competing forces and just, it's like Bruce Lee, be like water,
Ooh.
water flows,
Just not stagnant
right?
water, right?
Just not stagnant water, but flow with it, baby. Be like water, as my boy Bruce Lee would say. Just go with the flow and get in where you fit in, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about all these tools over the last few episodes. By the way, this is episode 20. Congratulations, brother.
Bro. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Congrats, dude.
But listen, we talked with our boy Ron, right, about the DSCR loan, right? And that DSCR loan is special, man. You get into a property, you rehab that bad boy, you get it rented out, and then you refinance. The refinancing is part of the equation. It's got to be timely. So you refinance that into a DSCR loan, a debt service coverage ratio, and that tells the bank that your rental income is covering the mortgage. That's beautiful. It's based off of your personal score. It's based off of whether that debt can be serviced by the rental income, right?
Yeah.
So the debt service coverage ratio tells the bank that your rental income covers the mortgage, right? And so the higher DSCR, better terms and seasoning, that's how long the bank wants you to own the place before they'll actually use the value of what you paid. So we've talked about all of this stuff. We've given you the tools. Now, this is where these tools are going to come in handy to help you take advantage of this stagflation period.
Yeah. And, Drew hit the nail on the head, man, about seasoning, dude. And like, don't rush it, because if you rush it, you can get burned, and I've been there, right? So, just take it from me, bro. 3 months in, I was thinking like, hey, let's refinance. Let's get our cash back. But the bank was like, yeah, I mean, you're going to get 70%, not 75, not 80, right? What I was thinking about. So that said, just make sure that you are following the seasoning requirements of your lender, and that you are, you're not pulling out too early, so you don't get burned. So,
And then the beautiful thing, man, is like after 5 years, right? After 5 years, you may have refinanced earlier. You have the opportunity to now go back and pull out more money as needed. Right. That's the beauty of this whole situation, is that during this stagflation period, your property value is going to go up. Because again, we've already talked about the fact that this is a commodity that people want. They want to live in, right? They want to purchase it, right? So there is value. So, as we get out of stagflation, that means the economy is going to be hopping, and, properties have very rarely decreased in value.
Very rarely. No. I mean, dude, in the last 50 years, have we seen properties decrease in value?
No.
I mean,
50 years ago, houses were what, $20,000?
Right. And they've only gone up from then.
100%. And that was in California.
And that exactly. I mean, if you owned a house in San Francisco in the 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s, right? I mean, you're a millionaire right now, right? That's just one house,
really
right? And so that's our thing, man, that's what we're talking about. It's about, it's not about timing. It's not about having that perfect timing, because that's the thing. Perfect timing, it's a trap, right?
100%.
Like, what's perfect timing like, Drew? I mean, what's it like, dude?
Dude, it's kind of like Bigfoot, dude. Everyone talks about it, but no one's actually seen it, right? What the hell are you waiting for? Like the perfect storm, right?
Yeah, right.
What are the actual measurements that you are looking at and saying, okay, if this happens, this is going to be perfect, and that's when I'll pull the trigger?
Right.
right?
Like, oof.
Man, I'd still be sitting on the sidelines if I was waiting for it to be perfect.
That's tough, dude. That's tough. If you're out there right now, people, and this is you, and you're waiting for that unicorn, you're waiting for Bigfoot, for Chewbacca to come around and be like,
let me just tell you something.
Here's the perfect deal. Like, you're gonna be waiting for a long time.
Here's what's gonna happen. When Bigfoot show up, you gonna think you're the only one who's looking for him?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna come out their house.
Yep.
And they're gonna look at Bigfoot.
That's too late.
Right? It's too late.
Yep.
Everybody wants to see Bigfoot, right? Not just you. Go get it. Make your own Bigfoot.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, why are we talking about Bigfoot? Right? Come on now.
Yeah, come on now. Right. So listen, if you connect the dots, right? Stagflation fears, low housing supply, rents rising, inflation kind of eroding the dollar, blah, blah, blah. You can either be on the paying side of that equation, which is where you don't want to be, or you can be on the collecting side of that equation, which is where you do want to be. You want to be collecting them checks, right? So this 5-year kind of BRRRR cycle puts you on the collecting side, right, Drew?
Exactly. Yeah. And again, we've already given you the tools. We've showed you how to go out and source the deal. We've showed you how to analyze the deal. We've talked about how to get the financing for the deals. We talked about the contractors and the pitfalls and all that good stuff, how to force value, how to get your refinancing and pull all that cash back out and recycle it for your next deal. We talked about renters, getting renters and making sure that you vet for renters, good quality renters, right? So that you can have stable income coming in and you're not worried about whether that renter is going to destroy the property that you just rehabbed or they can't afford to pay the mortgage that is being paid by that renter, right? So you have every tool. We've given you every tool to do this, right? There is no perfect storm, right? There is no perfect storm. And we've talked about that. So let's rock and roll.
Yeah, man. And so listen, bottom line is that now beats perfect. Inventory's not magically coming back, man. Demand's not going away, and inflation is still knocking at your door, right? So
100%.
Stop waiting for the market unicorn, the market Bigfoot. Start running your numbers, lock in your financing, and build your team, right? And listen, we can be part of your team.
If you want to use the exact same system that we use, the BRRRR Blueprint, and you're serious about finding your next deal, grab a clarity call with us, man. We are here to listen to you. We'll break down your goals, your numbers, your next steps. Like, it will become crystal clear about how you can make this happen for yourself.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So, listen, our next episode, bro, like, I think we got a special guest joining us, man. We got a seasoned investor who's going to talk to us about their story. So, dude, it's going to be dope, man.
It's going to be live. It's going to be really, really good. It's going to be a little bit off the beaten path of what we normally do. They have a different investment strategy, but we're here to kind of expose you to all different types of arenas to get yourself out of the rat race and start building a future for yourself and for your family.
Yeah. Love it, man. Well, until then, man, get after it, lock in that deal, and we will see you on the other side, man. Follow us, like, subscribe, and share. Ask us questions in our comment section, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So for my brother, the numbers ninja, Drew, I'm Jordan, and we are
the property
brothers. Peace, y'all. Take care.